Welcome back to my channel. This video is for the full moon in Sagittarius, which hits its peak Wednesday, June 11th at 3:43 a.m. at 20 degrees. Um, this full moon will not be making any major aspects to any of the planets, but that is okay. The full moon is giving main event, main girl energy. This full moon in Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter in Cancer, an exalted Jupiter in Cancer that is still at 0 degrees. It's purest form of the sign. It's impacting this full moon because it's influencing us to examine our inner world, both through our thoughts and our feelings surrounding your beliefs, your values, your upbringing. This full moon is offering mental clarity around why you hold certain perspectives and opinions. It's offering you understanding and breakthroughs around your personal beliefs, your purpose, your family life, and your relationships. With Sagittarius, of course, we're seeking the truth. We're being vulnerable with our thoughts and expressing ourselves and seeking more information. This full moon is asking you to expand your horizons, and it's asking you to not be so quick. Gemini energy is very quick. It's challenging you. The sun being in Gemini and the moon being in Sagittarius is challenging you to take the time out to truly understand the information that's being presented or the information that you see right in front of you. It is asking you to be a bit more open-minded and asking you to be thoughtful and not make snap judgments. Yeah. So I think that concludes my notes. Just really quick and simple. I'll be going through each of the zodiac signs and doing a little tarot reading, and I'll put the timestamps for each of the signs in the description box. So, of course, we're starting with Aries. Let me put this to the side. Get my cards. I actually don't need to put that over there because how am I going to write down the timestamps? See? Okay. All right, let's get started, Aries. Let's get started, Aries. What do my Aries need to know for this full moon in Sagittarius? What do my Aries need to know for my full moon in Sagittarius? The Two of Cups wanted to come out. If I didn't mention this earlier, you can definitely check for your sun, moon, and rising signs. Your sun, moon, and risings. Right now, we're doing it for the Aries. What do my Aries need to know for this full moon in Sag? Okay, someone wants to talk to you. We have the Two of Cups, Six of Cups, Ace of Swords. Someone wants to have a conversation with you. During the breakdown of the full moon in Sagittarius, I was talking about being truthful, being honest, and expressing yourself. That is exactly what this person has in mind. I feel like this is someone that you've known for a while, or maybe like grew up with, or like a childhood friend or something, childhood family member, or maybe just someone that you knew when you were younger and you grew up a little bit, maybe a few years or whatever, and this person, their feelings have grown for you. Their feelings have changed because we have the Two of Cups right here. It's giving romantic. Bottom of the deck is the moon. It's giving they have a secret. Um, Pretty Little Liars theme song just came to mind. Dang, I'm not gonna sing it though. But anyway, they're hoping for a new beginning. They're hoping to take something to the next level with you, Aries. Hoping to actually, what exactly are they hoping for? What are they hoping for, Spirit, with my Aries? What exactly are they hoping for, Holy Spirit? They want to be friends. They want to maybe even go on a road trip. They want to just be in your energy, be in your presence. They find you to be really fun. You make them laugh a lot. They want to. I feel like picking up on the full moon and Sag theme. They want to go on like a trip. Now, this doesn't have to be a long trip. This doesn't have to be something that's. I feel like it's more impromptu, actually. It's giving, once the conversation is had, if you choose to make up, it's like, hey, let's celebrate this. Let's go on a quick trip. Let's make a thing out of it. I do feel like this energy is really lighthearted. Like you two have a lot of history, and it's not easy to walk away from. Oh, look, now we have the sun at the bottom of the deck. When I first shuffled for the three cards that I pulled initially, the moon was at the bottom of the deck, and now the sun with judgment. So I do feel like this conversation leads to clarity. It leads to a good outcome. And instead of being angry with one another or holding secrets or not acknowledging exactly what's felt, you're addressing the issue and you can move on and enjoy each other's company and not be weird and awkward with one another or feel like you're not being truthful. That's a huge theme with this full moon in Sag, being truthful. I'm going to pull an archetype card for my Aries, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Athlete. Hmm. Interesting. I do feel like this energy describes Aries, with Aries liking to be physical, liking to work out, Aries being ruled by Mars, action. So I don't know if this person is coming to you or you're going to them, but it's important that you take action. It feels like this communication, or it feels like you haven't been talking about the elephant in the room, but since you've known each other for so long, or since you've been in tune with their energy, you can kind of read or hint at it, especially with all these cups cards. You can kind of read the energy. And now it's being asked of you to take action. Okay? Take action. And with that being said, we're going to wrap it up. And I am moving on to Taurus. Okay, so now we are tapping into the Taurus energy. What do my Taurus need to know during this full moon? What is this full moon revealing to my Taurus spirit? My nose itches. Okay, for my Taurus, we have the King of Wands, the King of Swords, dang, the King of Pentacles. Okay, one last card for my Tauruses. Ten of Swords. We're closing with the Ten of Swords. This is giving you have multiple roles to play and you're exhausted. Mm-hmm. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Cups with the Page of Wands. It feels like you are constantly having to shift between responsibilities, being pulled in multiple directions, and it's tiring. So this full moon is asking you to rest, asking you to take a step back. You're very responsible and someone who has it together. You're able to switch into different positions as far as what's needed at the moment, and you're really able to get things done. It's like you don't have a lot of downtime. Someone's always asking you for something. It's not fair that you have to always have so much responsibilities, especially for people who, I don't know, if they don't appreciate it or if they are making your life easier or making your life difficult or harder than it needs to be. It feels like for my Taurus, you need to relax. You are, let's see, why is the Ten of Swords here for my Tauruses? Yeah, work is stressing you out. It feels like you're wearing so many hats and you're not really able to focus on one thing, and it seems to be wearing you out. Some type of schedule or some type of, I don't know, some type of solution needs to be reached so you don't over exert yourself. I feel like you're trying to get a lot done in a little bit of time, and you're not being realistic with that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. So if you were a Taurus rising, the the full moon will be in your 10th house, I believe. So yeah, this is definitely work related. Now we have the King of Pentacles here, so hopefully you're being compensated well for your time and your efforts, because if not, that just adds insult to injury. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant with the Ten of Wands. You're definitely overworking yourself. Um, Taking a step back seems to be really necessary at the moment. I'm going to pull a archetype card, and then we're going to wrap it up for my Taurus. Prince, romantic charm, potential for power. I think this is coming across more for the potential for power. It feels like, oh, either someone younger than you or someone that you can mentor to help you to lighten your load at work, or to lighten your load in whatever area. Ooh, to lighten your load in whatever area comes to mind. It's like you're someone who has power and authority, but it doesn't feel like you're able to delegate the way you should be able to, or a way that would make your load lighter. But yeah, it feels like it pays to be the boss. With that being said, it's done for my Tauruses, and we're moving on to Gemini. Okay, so now we're moving on to the Geminis. Messages for my Geminis. Messages for my Geminis for this full moon in Sag. Messages for my Geminis. Spirit, please. Two of Pentacles. The Hangman. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Death card with the Seven of Wands. So immediately I was feeling like movement, where something was stalled before, something where something was giving you trouble, something related to your finances or the way you spend your time. giving you trouble, giving you uncertainty. So yeah, something in your career, your finances, making you feel like you don't have a safety net, or you don't really have the security that you value. That's changing. The Wheel of Fortune is increasing your fortune. It's increasing your luck and increasing your stability. This feels like you've been hanging on by a thread, or just having to make do with having a little bit, or not having enough, or not having the options that you feel like you're worthy of, Gemini. But that's changing. This full moon in Sagittarius is shining a light on, I feel like this is a past effort, or just something coming back around, and this time you're more prepared for it. Maybe this was an opportunity that slipped through your fingers. You feel like, anyway, you feel like this opportunity presented itself in the past and it slipped through your fingers. Well, it's back. It's back. And this time I feel like you are going to be more intentional and be more careful with how you move. You're not going to move so freely and so easy this time, and not in a bad way, like you're just going to hesitate everything you do, but no, you want to be more intentional. And I feel like you learned from your last experience to ask more questions and to hold on to your hold on to like hold on to your spirit in a way. Like I feel like maybe in the past you were in a position where you felt like you had to lay all your cards on the table, and that still felt like it wasn't enough. I guess you're learning that if you need to walk away, it's okay to walk away, Geminis. If you need to walk away, if you need to search for something better, something that allows you to be happy and stable and excited about what you're doing, then that's what you should do. This was a cute read for my Geminis. I like this. Let's pull a archetype card for my Geminis, and then we can wrap it up and move on to Cancers. Oh. But right now we're Gemini energy. Mentor. I was just telling one of the groups that they needed a mentor or a mentee. I think that was for Taurus. But anyway, mentor. This time around, maybe you could get a mentor, because it feels like you've been in this position before, something similar, and it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. Even though it went the way it needed to go. It didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but it went the way it needed it. It needed to go. It went the way it needed to go. So basically, don't feel regretful or don't harbor on the past, because right now you're at the position where I feel like you have the most power and the most advantages. So, Gemini's darlings, with that being said, I will see you next time. Happy full moon. Okay. So now we are moving on to Cancers. Okay. Share what messages do you have for my Cancers for this full moon in Sagittarius? I don't know. For some reason, I just felt like I need to cleanse the cards again for a second. No, I did cleanse my cards before I shuffled. But yeah. Justice. Two of Cups. Ooh. Oh, come on, Cancers. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So, Cancers, you are entering a time of abundance. Also, I feel like, okay, so many messages. This is a time of abundance for you, especially because Jupiter has entered Cancer, where it is exalted and is feeling very lucky. So if you are a Cancer rising, this is giving blessings coming your way. Initially, with the Justice and the Two of Cups, I don't even know if I read the rest of the cards. It's Justice, Two of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, Eight of Wands. So initially, when the Justice card came out with the Two of Cups, I was thinking, ooh, marriage. Especially marrying into a wealthy family. That could be on the horizon for some Cancers, marrying into a wealthy family. But for others, I feel an increase of luck. Now, the Justice card is traditionally Libra energy. But what I'm feeling with this Justice card is Jupiter's energy, because it's a need to make something right, make something ethical. Like, you want to play fair, and because of that, people may feel like, oh, you really don't want it. You want to play fair. You're not going to reach your goals. You're going to take forever. But that is not true with you. Like, you being patient and you not doing someone dirty, it really pays off for you. I feel like whatever you're manifesting is coming into fruition. We do have angel number 111, Justice 11, the Ten of Pentacles. That's one. Angel number 111. Miracles, abundance, blessings. They are at your front door. This Two of Cups, if I'm not looking at it in a romantic sense, is making me feel like you're finally in alignment with your purpose or with something that will bring you money. Mm-hmm. Something that will bring you money. Okay, so for my Leos, what messages does this full moon hold for my Leos? Leos, sun, moon, and risings. Messages for my Leos, Spirit, please. Ten of Swords. The Hangman. Messages for my Leos. The Two of Cups. And the Ace of Swords. Okay. Bottom of the deck being Seven of Wands, Knight of Swords. Interesting energy, Leos. I feel like this is the opposite of being in a sunny and bright disposition. This full moon in Sagittarius really has you thinking. This full moon in Sagittarius really isn't, well, let's take it back. This full moon in Sagittarius seems to be bringing you clarity around a relationship where it feels like this person was very defensive and flighty. Like this person wasn't great at communicating for some odd reason. They didn't make a lot of effort to be crystal clear. I feel like this person thrives off of having you confused or having you feel like you just have to play the waiting game. Which is really annoying. Oh my God. Leos, I feel like this person isn't that great for you because they leave you feeling confused and leave you feeling used and confused. That's not what we need in our lives. With this hangman here, I feel like you actually, let's find out. Spirit, why is the hangman here for my Leos? Why is the hangman here for my Leos? Spirit, please. So this was kind of at the bottom of the deck earlier. But I did shuffle, and now we have it out. The Knight of Swords. I feel like this person talks a lot. They say a lot, but they don't really say anything. Like they talk to hear themselves talk, but their words don't hold real value. So it's leaving you confused. So there's no clarity in the communication. It's just rushed speech to make you confused or make you feel like it's a you problem. They want you to feel like it's a you problem. Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Two of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, Leos, I feel like this person is coming back to you feeling really, I don't want to say they feel defeated, but I feel like they have a goal in mind to defeat you mentally, but I'm not quite sure you're letting that happen. I think you see them for who they are, especially when they give you space, when they give you time to think. I feel like the reason they want to bombard you with information, with how they feel or whatever, is because they want you to be confused. They want you to always feel like you have to hop from one thought to another. They just keep throwing their thoughts at you. They just keep talking and keep talking and keep talking, and it's so hard to keep up with. So I feel like this person brings more confusion than anything. So let's pull a archetype card, and then I'll be done with the Leos for this round. An archetype card for my Leos, please, Spirit. This came out with my last group, so I'm gonna put this back. We're gonna put that back, and we're gonna get a new card, new energy for my Leos. Yeah, that definitely came out with my Cancers. So maybe you have Cancer placements, or maybe you just want to check out that reading. Either way, we're getting new energy for Leos. Mother wanted to come out. So I definitely suggest that you check out the Cancer portion of this reading, because Mother is Cancer energy. Cancer energy is linked to Mother energy, shall I say. This feels like there's a disconnect with your romantic relationships because of some mother wound. Or maybe you're learning to mother yourself. Or maybe this person made you a mother and you're having to learn to do it without them, because all they do is create confusion and chaos. Either way, the clarity that you seek, I feel like you'll find when this person isn't in your energy. And with that being said, I am done with my Leos, and I am moving on to the Virgos. Okay, so now we are moving on to the Virgos. Messages for this full moon for my Virgos, my Virgo placements, sun, moon, and rising. What messages does this full moon have for my Virgos, Spirit? What messages does this full moon have for my Virgos, Spirit? Let's split the deck. Messages for my Virgos for this full moon in Sagittarius, Spirit. The Chariot. Messages for my Virgos. Okay, Virgos. Nine of Pentacles. Getting your money up. This hangman is really loving us lately. I swear I've never gotten the hangman so much. Okay, so we have the Chariot, Nine of Pentacles, the Hangman, Six of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have the Death card along with the Seven of Swords. Virgos, Virgos, Virgos. Okay, so I do feel like there's a shift in the money. That was the first thing that popped into mind when pulling your cards. Your money is changing, and I feel like as it changes, people are going to come to you and be like, oh, you're acting funny. You're not the same person you used to be. Virgos, I feel like you've been focused on making sure you're well off, making sure you're well taken care of. And I do feel like that's well on its way to you. The Six of Wands is like you've done something well, you've done a good job, and you're being acknowledged for it. And this is in ways of financial gains and as well as um, just being recognized, being told, like, hey, we appreciate you, you that girl, you that Virgo. I do feel like you were able to problem solve a problem, solve a problem in some area, and people are really thankful to you because this is something that had them stumped. I feel like you were able to rework something or re-strategize something dealing with work. I don't know. I'm thinking of project management. That's definitely something that the Virgos would excel at. It's like where it was once confusion and it wasn't running effectively. You've changed that. Let's see. Spirit, why is this hangman here for my Virgos, please? Why is this hangman here for my Virgos, Spirit? Yeah, so now that you've solved the issue, the money is definitely coming in. They're definitely saying that you deserve to be recognized. You deserve to have people understand that you should not be taken for granted because you put in the work and the effort to be a team player, and you put in the work and the effort to make everyone's job easier. I feel like you're on the fast route to a promotion or to even like a different job. If you're not feeling this job or you feel like it's not going to offer you what you want, even though yes they're telling you that you're great, yes they're offering you more money, you could still want more. And if you do, I feel like it's out there for you to get. Let's get a Let's get a archetype card, and then we'll be done with the Virgos, with the Virgins. Artists. I do feel like that's a part of your talent. With Virgo energy, it's opposite of Pisces. Pisces would be the artist, but I feel like with you, you're learning to embrace um, things that may be a little bit untraditional. You're learning to not be so strict with yourself when you're trying to accomplish your goals. You're learning that there's multiple ways to accomplish your goals, and you don't always have to rely on the traditionals to get to where you need to go. Basically, some of your problems you're learning will be solved if you learn to take a creative approach, if you learn to try something that you've never tried before. I hope that makes sense. Oh, bottom of the deck, we have student. So yeah, I feel like you're gonna have to take a new approach uh to get different results. And it's not that your old approach was bad, it's just you're steady evolving. Like we were talking about in the beginning of the video, you're seeking more knowledge, you're seeking a greater understanding, and you're learning that what you did in the past was great and it got you here, but you want to go further, so you're going to do more. And I do feel like money is definitely waiting for you with the Three of Wands and the King of Pentacles. I was holding that like you could see it. The Three of Wands and the King of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So yeah, with that being said, Virgos, I will talk to you later. All right, so now we're going back in, starting with Libras. Libras, Libras, Libras. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Libras for this full moon in Sagittarius? Oh, let me spit this gum out. Okay. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Libras for this full moon in Sagittarius? What messages do you have for my Libras for this full moon in Sag? King of Pentacles. Lovers. The Sun. And last but not least, for my Libras, the Hermit. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles and Justice. Okay, let's see. For my Libras. My Libras for this full moon in Sagittarius. This would be happening in your third house as a Libra rising. Because I feel like you are shut off, like your energy specifically for this full moon is something that you want to reserve. I feel like you're invested in your well-being. You're invested in your mental health and your mental wellness. Um, hmm. Yeah, even though we have the lovers here, I'm not really getting strong romantic vibes. I see this more so as you facing a decision for my Libras. My Libras. Let's see, Spirit, tell me more about the lovers for my Libras, please. Why is the lovers here, Spirit, for my Libras? I feel like you need time to disconnect and to clear your thoughts, to think about things that bring you happiness. Four of Wands. So, Four of Wands with the Justice and the Empress at the bottom of the deck. So I do feel like this is pointing out to some Libras that may be getting engaged soon. Justice in the Libra is giving bride, is giving wife, fiance, honeymoon, marriage. And if that's the vibe that you're on, I feel that it's the energy of you two spending quality time together for this full moon in Sagittarius. This feels like you two just enjoying each other's company and celebrating the new status of your relationship, whether it is you're engaged now or you're married now, you're a mother now, you're celebrating 4 years now, whatever it is you're celebrating. It's just you two really enjoying each other's company, which I really like. It's so Libra, so Libra. What else? If that's not your situation, I feel like you're spending your time alone to decompress and to really get in touch with things that you desire. If you're not booed up, coupled up, I feel like you're prioritizing your own wants and needs. And this is something that you're learning to do. To treat yourself with kindness, to treat yourself fairly. Sometimes I feel like you're the ultimate sacrifice, or you've been taught to be the ultimate sacrifice, especially as a Libra. You know, it's giving pushover energy sometimes with Libra. Not all the time, but Libras can be people pleasers. And with that energy comes not knowing how to say no and always giving too much of yourself away to the point where you feel disconnected from the things that you desire. So right now you're choosing to focus on the things that make you happy and bring you joy. And I feel like you're doing that away from people. Tell me more from my Libras, please, Spirit. Tell me more from my Libras. Tell me more from my Libras for this full moon, Spirit, please. Yeah, I feel like you're making a decision to cut off some people because they don't really support where you would like, where you see yourself mentally, where you see yourself emotionally. They don't contribute to your happiness in any way, so you're feeling like, cut them off. They actually make you sad. I don't know if that's in the camera's view. King of Swords, Five of Cups. Bye, bye, bye. And I feel like once you cut them off, you'll quickly see how they were holding you back, how they were playing on your top. Okay, so let's pull an archetype card, and then we're going to wrap up the Libras and move on to the Scorpios. Knight. Loyalty, romance, chivalry, a love of honor. This love of honor is, well, it could be taken two ways. It depends on if you are a single Libra or a taken Libra. If you are a single Libra, the love of honor, the loyalty is what you are giving to yourself in this moment. If you're with someone else, that's what they're giving you. Honor, loyalty, romance, chivalry, all that good stuff. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, Libras. I will see you next time. Okay, so now we are starting with our Scorpios. Scorpio, sun, moon, and risings. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Scorpios, sun, moon, and rising? Messages for this full moon in Sag. Oh, what messages do you have for my Scorpio spirit? The Hierophant. The Knight of Swords. The Queen of Wands wanted to come out. You know, we love her. Last but not least, for my Scorpios, we have the Two of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Cups and the King of Cups. Right? Yes. Okay. What's going on with my Scorpios? I feel like you're bored. My Scorpios are bored. Ooh, how could you be? This, if you are a Scorpio rising, this full moon in Sag is happening in your second house. And I feel like you're bored. You're wanting to add some adventure in your life. I feel like the funds to add that adventure to your life isn't really there. I feel like you need a break from the mundane. You need to spice it up. The Hierophant is giving me, you do the same thing every day, which of course, like we all do to a certain extent. We have to work, we have to, take care of ourselves, take care of our families. But I feel like you're wanting to kind of break away from that quickly, or just break away from that to kind of relax. I feel like there's a decision that you need to make, and you really need time to weigh your options. And it's not really happening when you're focused on um, doing your job, when you're focused on taking care of your responsibilities, your day to day. You really need to make time to set aside to focus on this decision that needs to be made, Scorpios. I feel like you get bored often, Scorpios, because you are very serious about your goals, which is great. Don't get it twisted. That's amazing. But I feel like you don't allow yourself a lot of wiggle room to enjoy other aspects of life sometimes. You kind of put things on the back burner, your other experiences, your other human needs. You're very focused. You're very um, getting tunnel vision. Let's see. Spirit, why is this Two of Swords here for my Scorpios? Tell me more about this Two of Swords for my Scorpios, please. Three of Cups. Or maybe you just need some time to hang with your friends. I feel like you really value your friends' input. And if you were honest and upfront with them with what you were struggling with, I feel like they'll be really able to guide you and help you. I feel like they offer a lot of emotional support, and you are taking that away from them and their opportunity to like really show up as your friend because you're trying to be a Scorpio. You're trying to be all secretive and handle things by yourself. But I do feel like there's an opportunity for your friends to step in, and they want to show you love and support. And sometimes you need people to bounce ideas off of, and I feel like that's what's going on with this. Bottom of the deck is the Tower with the Chariot. Yeah, I feel like they are definitely offering emotional support. Big Jupiter and Cancer energy, okay? Like you have really good friends. That's what the energy is feeling like. Okay, let's pull an archetype card for my Scorpios, and then we're going to move on. Archetype energy for my Scorpios, please. Hold on now. Okay, so I pulled dilettante, and I had to pause for a second to learn to pronounce this correctly. Um, dilettante. Ooh.
Dilettante.
Dilettante. A lover of an art or science, especially of fine art. A person who takes up an art, activity, or subject merely for amusement. So yeah, delights in arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. I think I was saying something about that. Hmm. Like you're very serious. I feel like you need to take a step back and have some fun and not always center your don't always center your professional goals to the point where that's all you think about because you're driving yourself crazy, making yourself tired. Take a break, have some fun, interact with your friends, and that's what I have for you for this full moon in Sagittarius, Scorpio. Thanks for watching. Okay, so now we are on to Sagittarius. If you are a Sagittarius rising, this is happening in your first house. So let's see what this full moon in Sagittarius has in store for my Sagittarius. What messages do you have for my Sagittarius? Three of Cups. Friends. How many of us have them? Ones you can depend on. Ooh, I guess that song came through for a reason. We had the Three of Cups, the Three of Swords. The Wheel of Fortune. And last but not least, for my Sagittarius, okay, that just flew out, so let's take her. The Hangman. Okay. The bottom of the deck is the Tower, along with the Chariot. I feel like there's an ending coming to a friendship. This is like a hard ending. I have a mosquito bite and it really itches. But yeah, I feel like there's an ending to a friendship coming. And that really sucks. I feel like if you're a Sag rising, this happening in your first house, this friendship really made you choose between you and them, and you're choosing yourself. I feel like being associated with this person, it's just doesn't really offer you comfort and clarity and companionship and friendship. It's making you question and second guess yourself. Give me an emotional roller coaster for real. Friendship edition. So this friendship breakup, it feels like you're not taking it too well. Well, let's just say you're really emotional, and it's definitely an adjustment. I feel like you're used to having this person around you, and you're used to being able to um, kind of depend on them to a certain extent to lift you up, to just to be a friend. You're used to having them around, and now it's an adjustment. It's an adjustment with the Wheel of Fortune. And with the thing about the Wheel of Fortune is it's really representing the ups and downs of life. And in this situation, sometimes it's really easy for you to deal with the absence of this person. I feel like you see clearly where they had you fucked up, and you're like, well, you can't be included in my life anymore. But at the same time, you see all the good times you shared, and you feel really attached to them because of the history you share. Hmm. Spirit, why is the Three of Swords here for my Sagittarius? Why is the Three of Swords here for my Sagittarius, please? Why is the Three of Swords here for my Sagittarius? King of Wands. Is this over a man? Or this may somehow involve a third party. Um, ooh. Yeah, so this may somehow involve a third party, where it feels like things are getting messy. A love triangle or a friendship triangle, I don't know. Something where someone's going behind someone's back and being messy. And now that you've discovered that they're being messy, bottom of the deck is the Eight of Cups. So you are walking away from something. Four of Cups, Eight of Cups. You're walking away from something. I don't feel like this has your spirits down for too long, though. Let's see. What is this hangman about? Why is the hangman here for my Sagittarius spirit, please? Okay, so the hangman clarified by the Ten of Swords. Interesting. So while I feel like you've had it with this person, you're done with them, you're walking away, you don't want to deal with them again. You feel like you've reached the end and it's no coming back. That's one avenue. But I also feel with the bottom of the deck being the Justice card and the Page of Wands, is that you'll find your footing someplace else. So you'll find happiness, so you'll find clarity, you'll find smooth communications somewhere else. Just because this friendship didn't work out, it doesn't mean that you'll never um, have steady and stable friendships. I feel like maybe this was just something that you had to release. Mm. Well, we had the Three of Swords, Three of Cups, and Hangman. Hangman is 12. That would be a 3 in numerology. So angel number 333. So let's pull an archetype card from my Sages and then we'll wrap it up for you. Child, orphan, independence based on learning to go at it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Okay, so from my Sagittarius, I feel like you're wanting to move away, to like totally remove yourself from the situation. So you're wanting to do something alone, learn to be more independent, learn to do something for yourself. I don't know, you may be used to, even though this person was a friend to you for however long they were a friend to you, I feel like you're ultimately used to going at things alone. And yeah, that's the messages coming through for my Sagittarius for this full moon in Sag. Yeah, I will see you around. Okay, so now we're with the Capricorns. My Capricorns, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, I just wanted to take that time to do that. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Capricorns for this full moon in Sagittarius? What messages do you have for my Capricorns for this full moon in Sagittarius? Spirit, please. What messages do you have for my Capricorns? Spirit. Nine of Wands. Three of Wands. The Fool. Queen of Pentacles. I can definitely see that for my Capricorns. Queen of Pentacles energy. Bottom of the deck is the Star with the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. I want to pull the archetype card now. Spirit. What's the archetype for my Capricorns for this full moon Sag, please? Engineer. Okay. Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. This energy is interesting for my Capricorns. With the Nine of Wands, I feel like you're overworking yourselves. I feel like you're, well, I hope that's not picking up on the mic. Yeah. I really want a snack. Anyway, for my Capricorns, I feel like you're overworking yourselves, trying to keep up appearances, trying to be present in multiple areas of your life, but it's a little challenging. This star energy is Aquarius energy. Aquarius giving Uranus and Saturn. I do feel like you're working really hard to be successful and to make sure you're doing something that's groundbreaking or doing something that makes a difference. You're really taking pride in the work that you do. And I love that. I think you need to focus on, I don't know what other sign had a very similar message. I think it was Virgos. If so, that makes sense because earth signs definitely wanting to work, wanting to be all about that pinnacle energy, your material gains. But with this full moon in Sagittarius, it's like highlighting where you need to trust that you have a certain amount of luck and you have a certain amount of abundance, and you'll be okay if you step away to rest, if you step away to repair your energy levels so you can come back feeling refreshed, and you could, you know, put more energy into it. You'll be more valuable once you're rested, once you aren't spreading yourself thin. I feel like with the star at the bottom of the deck, with the Knight of Pentacles, you're definitely trying to appease a lot of people. They're trying to, let me pull this down. Okay. Yeah, you're trying to appease a lot of people. You're trying to come across as someone that, someone that's detached, someone that's likable, but someone that's also very dependable. I also feel like you're a central theme for something. Like you play an active part of how something plays out. You have to be there. You have to be involved. You really can't pass this off. This is also reminding me of the Taurus reading. Um, yeah, that y'all earth signs for this reading, full moon in Sagittarius, you're definitely living up to the earth sign rumors, the earth sign themes. You're working really hard, and I feel like this full moon in Sagittarius is asking you to have a little bit more fun. There's such a playful energy to Sagittarius, and I really like that. And as a Capricorn, yes, you need to have a little bit more fun. Like, you're very serious. You're very all work, no play. Hmm. I really feel like this has to do with, let me see, Capricorn. This will be in your 12th house. I think you find a lot of pride in being busy and getting things together and keeping things running. But I do feel like there's times where you need to step away from work, step away from always being on the go. This full moon is definitely wanting us to live a little, to be a little bit more adventurous when it comes to life. You have the Fool here. So I do feel like there's something in your life that's wanting you to kind of be a little bit more relaxed. You can still be about your career, about your money, about making substantial progress, or just doing big things. You can still be about that. It's just like, you work so hard. Won't you relax sometimes, you know? Don't you think you owe that to yourselves, Capricorns? Capricorns. Okay. So, with that being said, my lovely Capricorns, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you. Billy Goats, later. Okay, so now we are here for the Aquarius, the sun, moon, and rising in Aquarius. Let's see what messages this full moon in Sagittarius. I keep wanting to say the full moon in Scorpio, but that's because that full moon was a lot for me. But this is the full moon in Sag, and we're looking at the full moon in Sag. What messages are coming through for my lovely Aquariuses? Justice, the Knight of Swords, the Chariot, the Ace of Cups. That's so sweet. Okay, so there's also angel number 111 in this group with Justice and then the Ace of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Strength and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so for my Aquarius. You have a lot of movement with the Knight of Swords and the Chariot. I feel like an ultimatum was given to someone, Aquarius. I don't know. Let's see. If not an ultimatum, I feel like a conversation where you clearly had to put out on the table, like, these are my expectations. This is what I desire. If you're with it, welcome. If you're not, goodbye. I feel like it was that plain and simple. And I do feel like they are rushing towards you to make it abundantly clear that they desire what you desire. Did I hit this? Because I feel like it's not the same. You know what? Whatever. I'm almost done. I feel like this person is giving air sign. Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. They like your confidence. I feel like you have a quiet confidence about you. You're not super cocky. You're not super stuck up. But you're very noticeable. You always look put together. And I think that's one of the reasons they are after you. They want to be in your space. They want to be in your energy because it feels great. It feels nice. I think they like your conversation as well. I feel like you offer them like an emotional safety net, if you will. And I feel like the word ultimatum, ultimatum. Uh-huh. I feel like the word ultimatum was a little too strong because that insinuates this person is moving kind of recklessly into the, and I don't feel like this person moves that way. I feel like they're very thoughtful and caring, and maybe they have their own situation and they're like focused on that. You have to remind them, like, hey, this is my expectations. These are my expectations. And I feel like you're slipping. And when that's being presented and now that it's known, they are making the necessary changes. Spirit, why is the Chariot here for my Aquariuses? Why is the Chariot here for my Aquariuses, Holy Spirit? The Nine of Wands. Okay. Page of Pentacles and Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this person is tired, but they make time for you. I feel like this person is definitely overwhelmed with their expectations of their career, their life, but they definitely make time for you. Very sweet, very thoughtful. What else for my Aquarius's spirit? Knight of Cups. So we were definitely on the right path, feeling someone wanting to make a grand romantic gesture towards you to show you that they're serious. I think they're just waiting for the right time. They want things to go well. They want things to go perfect, actually. They really want to plan it and be thoughtful. Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like they're planning a date or something, a date night. Yeah, they're definitely planning a date night for you. And they definitely want you to be all dressed up and cute. Okay, I like that energy. Let's pull an archetype card from my Aquariuses. Midas, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches. Okay. So I feel like that's why they're busy. They're really focused on their goals. And I feel like they they don't mean to ignore you. Or I don't even feel like they're ignoring you. I feel like they don't communicate with you as often as they would like, but they aren't terrible at it, you know? They have some type of, yeah, bottom of the deck is Prince. Romantic charm, potential for power. So they have some type of romantic sense or just sense about them where they feel like, okay, I may not be available to talk to this person as much as I would like to, but I can at least make an effort to keep up with them and keep them in the loop because I want them around. Ow. Okay, so that is it for my Aquariuses. Toodles. Okay, last but not least, Pisces. Messages for my Pisces under this full moon in Sagittarius. License. Messages for my Pisces under this full moon in Sagittarius, please, Spirit. Let's start out with this archetype. Okay, let's put that back because too many flew out. But yeah, let's get an archetype for my Pisces under this full moon in Sag. Rebel. Okay, you're feeling rebellious. Feeling like a rebel. Messages for my Pisces spirit under this full moon in Sagittarius, please. Seven of Pentacles. Ten of Swords. The Knight of Swords. The Sun. Okay, bottom of the deck is Ace of Swords, the Hermit. Ace of Swords and the Hermit at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so for my Pisces, I feel like you're tired of waiting for something. Like you're tired of maybe trying to do the right thing or do something by the rules. And now you want to be a little rebel. I'm going to break away. I feel like that's where you really find happiness. That's where you really find freedom. That's where you really find, you get to know a certain level of yourself by breaking away from the norm, by breaking away from a societal standard or expectation. This could be an expectation that you've put on yourself or that your family put upon you. But I feel like you really get to know yourself when you break away from it. You've been patient, and I feel like you've tried to play by the rules, but uh, they're not for you. This Pisces energy, mm, definitely being Pisces being traditionally ruled by Jupiter, and this full moon in Sag being ruled by Jupiter. I definitely feel like it's affecting my Pisces. It's affecting you in a way where you want to say it like you mean it. You said what you said. You feel the way you feel. You're finding power in your voice, in your thoughts, and how you feel. Definitely full moon and Sag things, because I feel like what I was talking about earlier with my notes with the full moon, we were saying that you're examining your inner world, examining how you feel about your upbringing and just different ideologies that you subscribe to. You're really sitting back and thinking like, do I really feel that way, or was I just taught to feel that way? I feel like this full moon has your wheels turning intellectually. You're definitely thinking about you're thinking about how some of the beliefs that you uphold are in detriment to you, but you've been taught that this is something that's supposed to give you happiness, and you've been taught that this is something that you're supposed to do for um, like to get ahead in society or to be happy, to be successful, to be looked at as someone who has it together. But you're finding that it's the opposite. You're finding that I don't really like this, so I'm making a change. Like, you don't have to do this anymore. You're grown. I mean, if you're watching this, you should be grown. Um, for my Pisces, this full moon in Sagittarius is holding a certain level of independence for you. I feel like what's coming into play is you thinking about establishing your own boundaries, your own rules, your own beliefs, your own value system, because you have to live with it. And it's like the things that you were taught growing up or the things that you've come across um, through different experiences of yours, you're just no longer subscribing to it. You're like, oh, I don't want this. I don't need this. So, Pisces, I feel like it's really a lot of thinking that you've been engaging in as far as what you plan on doing differently in the future, what you plan on holding value in. You don't think so. In the past, you found importance in, I guess, trivial things, and you found comfort in those things, but not anymore. I feel like you're expanding, you're growing. This Jupiter in Cancer transit, I feel like it's going to be really important for you to get to know yourself and to reestablish your ideals and perspectives. Yeah. And with that being said, I think we're done with Pisces and last sign of the zodiac sign. So happy full moon. Okay, so that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.